guys, it's Will from Potato Strong here. I just wanted to help some people that might have trouble when they start eating a plant-based diet as far as calories and portion control. There's a lot of fear out there from past experience with dieting, Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all the other diets that people tend to have to watch what they eat. And a lot of negative news about carbs, potatoes, and carbohydrate, broccoli, everything that has carbs in it. So I see a lot of people always worrying about not eating too much. Somebody recently said that they had eaten some oatmeal and they were hungry mid-morning and they had to eat some more. And you should eat when you're hungry, but if you notice that it's not lasting very long, you have to eat more. And they said they ate a serving of oatmeal. Like normally servings on the boxes that you see are pretty small because they don't want they want to show a low calorie count or show that the box has more servings in it or the bag, whatever it is. So the reason you can eat more food is that there's less calories in there. If you're used to eating meat and dairy, or even some of the vegetarian or vegan products that are high in fat, there's so many calories in there that you have to, when people go on diets, they have to watch how much they eat. I've shown in other videos, like a big box of lettuce, spinach is like hardly any, it's like negligible. A potato might be 100 calories. If I make a huge plate of fries, it looks massive. But it might be four medium potatoes sliced up. And that, for a potato might be 100 or so calories. So it might be 400 to 500 calories. And you could be quite full on that. And that's a pretty low calorie meal if you think about it. Because I eat 3 main meals a day. That's, for a man, that would be 1,500 calories if you had 3 of those. So that's pretty low calorie count, even for women, in most cases. So it just takes a different perception of what you're eating, because you're not adding sour cream and butter and bacon bits. And if you eat a burger, it's not a hamburger with cheese on it and mayonnaise and all this stuff. It's a bean burger with oats, or these beans. I made four burgers out of these beans, and I think the can of beans is 300 calories, so the beans themselves are 75 per burger. So you're dealing with low calorie counts versus these easily 1,000 plus calories of high fat diet, saturated fat. And I've had situations where people might look at something that Bonnie's eating and think, well, she eats, she's eating again or whatever. She just ate this and now she's eating that. But they're not really looking at what she's eating. Like, she's had situations where she might snack on some carrots or an apple or something. And when you have that mindset of every time you eat, it's bad, it's a negative thing. It's a really bad emotional way to deal with food. It's a negative, dysfunctional sort of view. And so if you see someone who's slimmer than you and they look like they're eating more often, you have to really consider what they're eating. Somebody might be eating a cake with icing, and the cake has eggs and butter or margarine and milk and all sorts of stuff in it, tons of sugar. So if somebody's eating a piece of cake, it's not really the same as somebody who eats a salad or some carrots. So, you can't just look at the act of eating itself or even the size of the food on the plate. So that's where calorie density comes in. I've talked about it quite a bit. There's food that have different calorie densities. And most of us just get into habits as far as what we eat. So you just have to change your habits. It's that simple. It can be challenging, but it's really that simple in the sense that, when I was eating other foods, meat and dairy or even vegetarian, I'd eat the same general set of meals. There might be 10 or 5 or 10 meals. But just what I did with them, what I put on them, the Caesar salads and the pastas with the oil and it just, so I just changed. In my case, I do a lot of comfort food still. I still eat pizza and pasta and everything, but I've just completely changed what I put on them, like the cheese and the oil. Got rid of all that. Caesar salad, I don't put mayonnaise and fake bacon bits and croutons and all that stuff. And so I'm still eating salads. I'm still eating, French fries. Instead of buying the frozen ones that are, have oil, I bake my own, and I still make, instead of eating veggie burgers, even the ones that might be high in fat in the store, make my own bean burgers. So I really just slightly modified what I was making before. I had cereal my whole life, which wasn't too bad, but I swapped in some oatmeal and, banana milk, and just made things a bit better. So my main point here is not to fear what you're eating, and to make sure you eat enough. Just, you have to trust. You have to trust that you can eat more food essentially and lose weight. It's not just the act of eating. Oh, I put this much food in my mouth and I can't eat. I have to make a smaller size meal. That's not it at all. It's eating healthier food, lower fat foods that are. See, even if you don't buy into saturated fat or the health issues, it's a fact of that it's 9 calories a gram, and a lot of carbs are not even 4 calories a gram. That's the average for all carbohydrates, and a lot of the carbs are not absorbed. Like, you've got what they call resistant starches, and there's fiber and water and all sorts of things that aren't really, the food itself is probably not going to be absorbed to the extent that you think it might be. So these other foods, though, the fat just goes in your body, and it's without much effort, it's stored easily. So to really try to fight that fear that might be programmed in you from years of dieting and stuff that you've heard. I've got family members and friends and people on Facebook and that and YouTube who, I get a lot of those questions, the fear, the portions, the calories. You just got to trust it. I've been doing this for almost 11 months, lost 32 pounds, blood pressure is unbelievable. The cholesterol is really low now. And I just think that you have to trust that it's going to work. Give it a try. I urge everyone to experiment. Like, if you think that something won't work, what's the harm in giving it a try for a month? Like, I know people that are afraid to eat potatoes. They just think, oh my God, carbs and, glycemic index and all this stuff, diabetes. But what if you ate a whole bunch of French fries, baked fries, and ketchup, a couple of meals a day as an oatmeal, and gave that a try for like a month? There's a lot of theoretical knowledge and a lot of statements made, but at the end of the day, it's what works for you. So I'm trying my best now not to say too many things about things that I haven't experienced myself. So there are people doing different variations of plant-based diet, a lot more fruit, smoothies, and to me, if they're getting the results, then, and not just physical but health results, to me that's all good. I've had experience eating meat. I've had experience being a vegetarian, and there are some people that could appear to be slim and healthy on these meat diets, animal-based diets, but for myself, even if you could get away with 10% animal products or something like that, just from a health perspective, I'm not able to do that from a behavioral perspective, because you start eating those foods and it expands to a larger percentage. So you have to know yourself. If you think, well, I can just put a little bit of oil on something, and then maybe over time you're putting on oil on a lot of things and it's expanding, or you put a little bit of cheese on something, and or soy cheese. So some of those things are like Pandora's box. You don't want to, even vegan versions of cheese, and there's these cheeses you can make with cashews. And right now I'm a little bit hesitant to go there, just because it'll open up the door again to maybe eating a lot of fat on my foods. So I'm really enjoying the food I'm eating right now. So anyways, I just want to say that as much as you can, try to get over your fear and really just give it a try. That's the best results you can see. You know, you're fearing something. You've never probably eaten baked potatoes, like baked fries and potatoes and all, without all the fats. Like baked fries with oil, you probably had gravy, or you might have had baked potatoes and sour cream and butter or margarine. So in broccoli, there's so many cheese, broccoli type things. So you can't really say that you've tried these carbs without all the added fats and oil and, and animal products. So I'm urging you to give this a try, and really, if you've been doing it for a while, for a period of time, like, really try to avoid these negative views about eating, as far as like trying to keep a volume of food low or dealing with the hunger and the cravings. You really need to eat enough. And it takes a bit of a adjustment, because you can eat more than you're used to. So I hope that helps. There's I'm showing my results to be inspirational, but some of these chats are to discuss some of the psychological issues that you might have come across. Like, I've talked about hunger before, how I deal with hunger and eating a lot of potatoes and being satiated, so I don't tend to snack and crave other things. So hope this helps, and we'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.